What is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Today we are installing new coils onto our 670 so we can get stronger spark. We need to double check magnet polarity because if that's wrong in the flywheel, we're gonna have some serious problems down the road. We're gonna reinstall it into the chassis and do some 60-foot times because we installed the fancy new different weighted rollers from Go Power Sports for their new 780 torque converter. Now, before we get into the installation, I'm going to try to explain just exactly how important those rollers are in helping us achieve a faster 60-foot time and a faster time overall at the drag strip. So I have illustrated here a super rough dyno graph. So the original rollers engaged at 2,500 RPM. So that means down the majority of the track, we're probably only turning 2,500 to 3,500 RPM, meaning the engine's only making, what, max maybe 30 horsepower and I don't know, maybe 40 foot-pounds of torque. With these new lighter rollers, we're shifting the RPM range up the graph where the engine is going to make more power and torque overall. So these engage at 3750, so we'll call it 3750 to 4750. That means we're going to make more like, 45 horsepower and 50 foot-pounds. That's just a rough example. Like I said, I couldn't find the torque curve, but that's kind of the logic behind why we think these rollers are going to be such a game changer for us.
That torque converter will keep it right at the peak horsepower and torque.
That's where we want it.
Once we figure out where that is. This is my hard. That's the rotation.
It says the south end will be attracted to the north pole of your mag.
Yeah. And the white is north, right?
Yeah.
And it's attracted to it.
Okay, so that one's correct.
This one's supposed to be correct. This one should have the red coming around to it. Look at that.
Yep.
There we go.
We bought these new coils on eBay. They were like 26 bucks for the pair, and apparently the factory 670 coils are kind of known to cause problems, so these alone could solve our weak spark problem.
Are you ready to crank it over, bud?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
All right.
I don't see anything. So what did we forget to plug in here?
Nothing.
It was working last week, dude.
Put the magnets back exactly the way they came out, too.
So we have zero spark whatsoever. I even grabbed a hold of the spark plug and I didn't feel anything. So Ike's gonna put one of the old coils back on and we're gonna see what happens. This has been like our problem with this engine. It's like sometimes it has spark and sometimes it just doesn't. I don't know what it is. It's the weather or something. It's a mystery. Could our coil but gap just be? No, you said you gapped it exactly what it was before.
I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, and it's gonna have spark.
Yeah, it's gonna have spark.
It's gonna have spark, which means that the coils are bad.
Our brand new coils are bad.
Brand new coils are gonna be bad.
Oh yeah.
Got good spark on it, but we had nothing a second ago. Coils are bad.
So our brand new coils are bad.
Brand new coils are bad. Both of them.
Nothing.
You want to grab hold of this one?
No. I just think it's crazy that like we buy two brand new coils and they're both dead on arrival. It's just super frustrating. We made a run to the local lawnmower shops. They either weren't open or they had no idea what we were talking about. I'm gonna see about returning these junk ones and ordering some new ones, and we'll see you guys in a minute. So it has been about 5 days since we have seen you, and we have another new set of coils. So we have the stock coils, the first pair of aftermarket coils, and now the third pair of aftermarket coils. All right, so we should see like a lot stronger spark, right?
Hopefully we see spark, period. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
I see nothing. Those are the stock ones. Those should work, dude.
They were working before.
Yeah.
And now they're not?
Yeah. You think we put the magnets in wrong?
No, I didn't put them in wrong. The north is facing the freaking... What the heck, dude? I'm going to turn the magnets around.
Yeah. Turn them both around?
Both of them.
Yeah, might as well try every single combination at this point. Let's see what happens. Here we go.
Yep.
We got spark.
All right. We got spark.
Like strong spark?
No. The left one would spark for a little bit and then it'd stop. The right one sparked the whole time.
So the new coils that we bought are supposed to be for they're aftermarket coils for Predator 670. Now, these first new coils that we bought are for like a Honda GX670, or they're aftermarket for a Honda GX610, 20, or 70. And they're like, the design is a little bit different when you line them up to each other, but they're supposed to work, and they didn't. So we just figured spending the extra bucks, because the aftermarket Predator ones were more expensive. So I could swap in the magnets around again to the north. Nothing at all.
Nothing.
So flip them both around.
Well, I'll flip both magnets around. This is south now.
South now facing coils.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep. We got spark, and it's good spark.
On both.
On both. Turn it over again. Rock, steady spark.
Just say screw it and do that.
Yeah. South.
So now we can finally put this thing back together and put it back in the chassis. Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you want to see the spark?
I do want to see a spark.
Okay, I'll let you see the spark.
Let her rip.
Let her rip. Shoot.
Yep. We got it, dude.
There we go.
So the engine is sitting back in the chassis like it should. I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow, because I'm going to be hooking everything back up and hopefully going for a test drive. Good afternoon, guys. I have a little bit of bad news. So I talked to Performance 670, and they say that some other people have been having similar issues, and they've narrowed it down to the magnets in the flywheel themselves. Apparently, the magnets installed in this flywheel begin to lose their magnetism at 186 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I think we all know that this engine gets hotter than that. So they're going to be sending us new, higher temperature rated magnets, I think, next week. Now, that being said, since I can't work on the rail because we're going to have to take it back off in order to take that cover off to change the magnets in the flywheel, I'm going to go ahead and do some more body work on the truck. We've seen a lot of comments from you guys like, work more on the truck. So, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. The truck has not changed much since you saw it last. This is pretty fresh Bondo on here. It hasn't had much sanding done to it. I need to sand down where I welded in the new rockers, same on the other side, and this here. So this was like part of the firewall. This lip, I'm guessing it's like some kind of water channel, was rusted away, and I used the Pour 15 and fiberglass trick. I'm gonna need to go back and do that again. We got the same problem happening on the other side. So with that being said, I'm gonna keep my head up, get the grinding wheel out, and get the grinding some of those welds smooth. All right, grinding is done. It's pretty smooth. It's all prepped and ready for body work. So I'm gonna use the smallest amount of Bondo possible and just hit those little spots there. So I have my Bondo here. I have just like the smallest amount, too much hardener, I think, but it'll be all right. I can work fast. All right, so my spreader was just way too big for the little Bondo that I needed. And, you know, in a way, it's kind of like a benefit of doing everything yourself. Like, literally everything is like an opportunity to learn. Like, if I were to send this off to someone to get it finished, like, I'd have the end result faster, but, like, I wouldn't learn as much. I'm going to let that Bondo dry. I'll see y'all in a minute. Good afternoon, guys. The bodywork on the rocker panel is pretty much done. It's time to mask it off and lay down some primer. It's not 100%, but I'm going to hit it with primer, do a little more sanding, and see where I can go from there. But all that is sanded and ready for paint. And again, this does not have to be 100% because it's a rocker panel. It's not looked at, it's stepped on. So I'm not going to be too upset if it isn't 100% perfect. So let's get some primer on it. While that rocker panel is drying, I'm going to show you guys the situation I've run into with the doors for the truck. So the original doors are right here. They came off the blue cab. and they don't look too bad at first sight, but then you really start looking at them and you realize, holy cow, these things are full of Bondo. Starting right here, the bodywork's starting to pop up, and it only gets worse as you go down. I mean, that's just like a rust and bodywork like catastrophe right there. And then you flip it over and you look underneath and you see that the rust is pretty bad along there too, along the bottom. I mean, these are all typical rust spots, but this cab seemed to be filled with more Bondo than usual. I'm not afraid of doing a little bit of rust repair. I mean, I did it on the cab and it's turned out really well, but what I've learned from the situation with the cab is that avoid it if you can. I'd rather spend like $400 or $500 on some doors that need, you know, maybe 5 hours of work versus trying to work with those that I already have, which need 20 hours of work a piece. I mean, I don't know if that's how much they need, but it's a lot. That being said, if you have 1964 to 1966 Chevrolet truck doors that you want to get rid of, leave a comment. The paint's dry and the rocker turned out just okay. I mean, from this angle, it looks great. But like once you start, you can find angles where like you can still really see those spots where I welded. I mean, it doesn't come out on camera too well, but they're there. You can tell. Now the whole internet's gonna know that my truck isn't perfect. I posted on Facebook and Instagram, and you guys have gotten me a lot of really good leads, and I really appreciate that. But first thing first, Ike has a 1966 GMC sitting in the woods in his junkyard. 10 years ago, he says the doors were in really, really good shape. And so he's letting me go back there and check them out.
Man, have I told you how much of a bad idea this is?
We were here like we were here like a month and a half ago. And it's completely different already.
Yeah. Looks like a completely different environment. There's the entrance.
Yep. Spinning on her, sir.
Okay. Be careful, bud.
Yep. There's the GMC. All right. This is a door right here.
He's in there somewhere.
That's pretty rusty right there.
Mascara.
Door's frozen shut. There doesn't appear to be any Bondo in it, but it's rusty. That door looks to be in better shape. Cab is rough though.
So I'm gonna crouch next to this Trans Am over here. Get eat up by mosquitoes and wait for John to come over here. And then I'm gonna jump out. If I survive.
I mean, it looks to be in a little better shape, but it's really hard to tell without being able to open the doors. All right, let's get out of here.
Hi, buddy. How's it going?
Woo! It's a wild bull. It's been about a full day since I've had the camera on. Check out my progress.
Are you in the garage?
Yeah, I am.
What are you doing?
I'm a body expert, dude. As you can see, it's looking pretty good, but I have a couple more spots to clean up before I tackle the A-pillars. I've been on a roll, guys. I spent probably 5 hours on this thing yesterday. I was out until 11:30 at night. Check it out. A-pillar is feeling pretty good. All this is doing really, really well. Rockers are still done, but I've been working on the roof too. Now the roof had a bit of a dent right here, so I filled it in with Bondo. As you can see, like it still needs a lot more, but I gotta go, so I hit it quick with primer. I think it's looking good. I've been making a lot of progress on this thing recently, and I'm excited. So the Dragster may be dead, but it gave me an opportunity to work on the truck for a while. No word on magnets yet, but as soon as we get new magnets in, we're going to be working on the rail. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CarsandCameras Reviews. Leave us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video for the truck updates, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and press the little bell for notifications. And don't forget to visit GoPowersports.com for the 780 torque converter. There's a link in the description to their new 780 50 horsepower rated torque converter. Check Ike out at Isaac It'll Be Fine. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.